of form that Yuften produced that night. But yeah, look, and Joey Sheridan takes off £7, so that's a good bonus as well to have on your side. And yeah, he's been put in these claiming races. He's rated 87. He's got 9 stone 10 to carry. That's fine, and he's not badly in with some of the others in the race, most notably Equitant. So yeah, look, you can see why he's favourite, but he is quite short now.
Yes, he's won 8 races in his career, Yuften. The last 5 of those have been in claimers, and he's changed hands a few times, but still operating at a good level at the age of 8.
He's had a lot of trainers, hasn't he?
He has.
a lot of
what's that
very good trainers.
More yards than Bethlehem, or something like that. I probably messed that one up. Anyway, let's get more stables in Bethlehem. Let's come back to number 3, Merricourt, trained by Ger Lyons, the horse with the sheepskin noseband. We'll just try and pick him up for you. He's just going behind the presentation podium now, actually, with the blue sheet on him. Ger Lyons has been the man in claimers up here lately, Don. This fella won a claiming maiden last time and was retained by his connections afterwards. As we said, major reward won for Ger recently as well. Scream won the claimer here the other day when we were up there. Do you think this fella could be another?
Yeah, he could be. Like he's one that, I suppose, unlike Yuften, he's got potential to progress more than he's been able to show so far. Like that, he's only run 6 or 7 times in total. That was his first run the last day on all weather, and he did well. He got the better of Pocatello, who's enhanced the form since. He kind of just came a wee bit towards the near side. He kind of moved away from the whip a little bit, just maybe display a little bit of signs of greenness whenever Colin Keane pulled his whip through. He just kind of moved to his right, but he was always on top of Pocatello, and the two of them came nicely away on the near side. So that was a good run, his first run in all weather. The handicap would give him £5 for that, which moves him up to 78. It still leaves him with a little bit defined with the likes of Yuften and Equitant, but he's got, he's lightly raced and he's got potential to improve, so you can see why he's strong in the market as well.
I remember that gag now, and I did make a mess of it. It was every stable bar Bethlehem. That was the one I was trying to think of.
There. It's rearranged the word.
Mea culpa. Okay, what else do we want to have a look at here? Chihala Noli, can we find him? He's gone out already, in actual fact. So, Master Speaker, of course, number 7. We'll just pan forward there, Peter, a couple to Master Speaker. Smashing servant to his connections down the years, Don. Shamrock Thoroughbreds, and I see they've been active over at the horses in training sale today as well. Splashed out some big money on a horse possibly from Roger Variance, but Master Speaker, again, fair enough, he's been coming down the handicap a little bit of late and struggling a little bit in handicap company, but again, at this level, he could be a formidable rival, couldn't he?
Yeah, he could, and I suppose his last run was maybe a step back down behind Only Human, but yeah, look, he's had plenty of runs. 3 runs ago, his run there at Galway was very good. That was on soft ground, and we know that he goes well here. He's won in all weather 3 times. So, yeah, look, he's a player that, and also he's been put in to this claiming race at a good mark. He's got plenty and a little bit in hand. I think he gets £10 from Yuften, and he's rated £4 inferior to him, and the same with Equitant. He gets £15 from Equitant. So that's what I suppose when I take Joey Sheridan's claim into account. So just on the ratings and on the figures, he's a horse who's got a big chance here for all that he's fairly well exposed, and we have a good idea of how good he is.
Okay, look at some of the principles there potentially in this claimer. They were the top 3 in the betting market this morning at least, and we might check out a couple of others down at the start, including Equitant and Duhallow Noli.
And let's give you a show of betting for which Yuften is at the top of the market at 2-1, Merricourt 5-2, 5-1, Master Speaker, Equitant 11-2. It's been a little bit of money for Atlas, one of the outsiders.
Thanks, Rishi. Let's talk about Equitant then, Don, who around about this time last year made a great start to life for Joseph O'Brien. Came from Richard Fahey's, I think. There he is, the top horse, number 1, Dundalk riding this evening. Has been struggling a little bit of late. Was well enough beaten behind Geological here earlier this month. 25 grand, is that realistic given the mark he's on now and the sort of form he's in, the claiming tag?
Yeah, well, look, we know he's got talent, Gary, as you say. I think he won his first 2 races for Joseph O'Brien since he joined, as you say, from Richard Fahey's. But yeah, look, his last couple of runs have been maybe a wee bit down on what he's done before. But if he could bounce back to his early season or his earlier form, and even during the summer he ran a good race to finish 3rd behind National Guard at Killarney. That was a good run, so something like that would give him a good chance here.
And Duhallow Noli, just to reference him, he's a bit of an exception here in that he's kind of on an upward curve and less exposed than quite a few, albeit he's run 17 times. Not well in at the weights though, what do you think?
He's not well in, he's rated 68, but that was a good run the last time when he came from the rear in the race. It was run at a fast pace.
Here's Peter.
Braking smartly towards the inside, Mary Court shows good early speed. Equitant is close up between horses, and Lappet towards the outer, edging on now. Just behind them, Duhallow Noli and Gary Owen as they end the first furlong. Lappet goes on for Andy Slattery, leads by about a length and a half. Equitant, Donnacha O'Brien up on the outside just second, with Mary Court and Colin Keane to his inner. They're followed a length back by Duhallow Noli. And Oisin McSweeney. To the outside of that one is Gary Owen, Nathan Cross. Master Speaker next in the green, white and orange for Ronan Whelan. Outside that one, Coherent and Shamie Heffernan. On the inside in orange is Yuften. The back marker as they make the far turn is Atlas. As they head now to the halfway stage on the approach to the straight, Lappet continues in front, tracked by Equitant with the green sleeves, Mary Court, the white and blue, the inside, and they're followed to the 3 furlong pole by Gary Owen, the outside of Duhallow Noli. Master Speaker trying to improve between horses. Yuften is behind them, then Atlas, and scrubbed along at the back Coherent as they straighten up with over 2 to race. Coming there on the far side with the noseband, Mary Court, and the centre 2 shades of blue of Lappet. Equitant down the wide outside, Master Speaker. Yuften challenging one from the far side. Heading on now to the furlong pole. Mary Court in the centre. Yuften challenging over on the far side, and right over on the rail is Duhallow Noli, but Mary Court and Yuften fight it out on the stand side. Master Speaker coming home well inside the furlong. Yuften on the far side, and Joey Sheridan will win it. Mary Court second, close for third. Master Speaker stand side, Duhallow Noli on the far side.
Market principles have dominated, and Yuften has won another claimer. That's his 6th win in this division. Joey Sheridan, who's been creating a really good impression throughout the last few months, riding a winner for his boss Dennis Hogan here and owner James McCauley. A bit like the first race, Don, it didn't necessarily look likely just after the turn in. Mary Court certainly travelled like the best horse through the race, but didn't really, when Colin Keane gave him the office there to go and win his race, didn't really find as much as perhaps looked likely.
Yeah, I think Yuften's done well, Gary, because he was quite far back, and further back maybe than you would ideally have liked. But we know here at Dundalk, that you can make up ground in the home straight, especially when they've gone at decent pace up front. And yeah, look, you're right, Mary Court. He's the horse you would have wanted to have been on turning for home or before the home turn. He travelled very, very well. He moved to the front and looked the most likely winner. But then when Colin Keane gave him a kick, he just, when a horse gets into that position and the rider gives him a squeeze, you want him to go and put distance between himself and the horses around him, but he just didn't quite get away, and Yuften was staying on well from the rear. And in fairness, he's, as I said beforehand, we know Yuften, we know him well, we know how good he is, and he's good in this grade, and he's done well to win.
He has. He was the last one to leave the stalls, Yuften, which is no great surprise really. He's a horse that connections often take their time. With 15 to 8 favoured, he returns here. Mary Court at 5 to 2 and Master Speaker at 5 to 1. So top 3 in the betting, or near enough the top 3, certainly finishing in that order. And Mary Court getting a lovely trail through the early part of the race from the pace setting Gary Owen. I beg your pardon, the horse that Gary Owen's a little bit further back in the field. Lappet was the horse who took them along, and the winner, he gets a nice ground saving run, doesn't he, Don? Joey Sheridan from stall 2, he's able to hug the rail until he turns in.
He has, and it's, we mentioned Joey Sheridan earlier on. He's very, very good. He's claiming £7, and we were talking about some of the claimers that we have in the country, and he's one of them. He's very, very good. He didn't panic at all. He might have been further back than he wanted to be, but he just sat and allowed the gaps open. We know they opened at Dundalk in the home straight, and once they did, that's when he asked his horse for his effort, and you can see he's balanced and strong in the finish, and he and Colin Keane going head to head to the line. He's just delivered his horse at the right time and got him going again, and it's a lovely ride by Joey Sheridan, just in the sense that a winning ride is always a good ride, but just in the sense that he didn't panic and he waited for the gaps to come, and when they did, he asked his horse to go through them, and he had the horse obviously to go and do it. But see there, you think Colin Keane was travelling a lot better than the winner, but yeah, just maybe it's down to inexperience with Mary Court, but he just didn't go away from his rivals like it looked like he would, given how well he was travelling.
Of course, Joe Sheridan rode a big winner, I think it was the Irish Cesarewitch, wasn't it, on Royal Illusion for Willie Mullins there recently, so he's catching the attention of quite a few of the big trainers. Based with Dennis Hogan, another winner for his governor here, as I say, in the familiar orange silks of James McCauley. Jim Goff on hand there as well. Yuften Probably not likely to be claimed on, I wouldn't